Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. Today, we're going to explore the qualifications and standards related to stability chambers. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. This presentation is titled Qualification of Stability Chamber, and it will guide you through the essential aspects of ensuring these chambers meet quality and regulatory standards. We'll cover the key processes, testing procedures, and best practices to maintain stability chamber performance. So, let's get started and dive into the world of stability chamber qualification. Let's start by talking about what a stability chamber actually is. A stability chamber, also known as an environmental chamber, is a specially controlled device. Its main function is to maintain specific temperature and relative humidity conditions. This control allows us to simulate the storage environments that pharmaceuticals are kept in during stability studies. Now, why is this important? Well, the purpose of these chambers is to generate stability data. This data helps us determine the shelf life of a product and the best storage conditions to ensure its quality over time. Essentially, they help us predict how a drug will perform throughout its intended lifespan. Additionally, stability chambers support different types of testing: long-term, intermediate, and accelerated stability testing. And all of these are performed in accordance with ICH guidelines, which are the international standards that ensure consistency and reliability in our results. So, in the broader context of our presentation, understanding how these chambers work and why they're so critical helps us appreciate the rigorous processes behind ensuring pharmaceutical stability and safety. Let's take a closer look at the regulatory framework that guides stability testing across different regions, starting with the International Conference on Harmonization, or ICH-Q1A, R2. This guideline sets the standards for stability conditions based on climatic zones. For example, it specifies that in temperate zones, we typically look at around 25 degrees Celsius with a relative humidity of about 60%, plus or minus a couple of degrees or percent. In more tropical or hot climates, the conditions might be around 40 degrees Celsius with 75% relative humidity. These conditions help us simulate storage environments and ensure our products remain stable. Moving on, the FDA's regulations, specifically 21 CFR Part 211, emphasize that any equipment used in good manufacturing practice, or GMP, must be properly qualified and calibrated. This is crucial because equipment performance directly impacts product quality and stability. Furthermore, both EMA and WHO have similar expectations. They require documented qualification of equipment and periodic requalification. This ongoing process ensures that equipment remains in good working order over time, maintaining the integrity of our stability data. Lastly, I want to highlight that these climatic zones, as defined by ICH-Q1A, serve as practical examples of how different environments influence our stability testing strategies. Recognizing these zones helps us tailor our testing conditions effectively and consistently across regions. Now, let's take a closer look at the qualification life cycle, which includes DQ, IQ, OQ, and PQ. These are the key phases that ensure our equipment and systems meet all necessary standards and function properly throughout their life cycle. First up is design qualification, or DQ. This is where we confirm that the design of the equipment or system actually meets the user requirements and regulatory standards. It's about making sure we're building the right thing from the start. Next is installation qualification, or IQ. Here, we verify that everything has been installed correctly and that proper documentation is in place. This step is crucial because it sets the foundation for reliable operation. Then we have operational qualification, or OQ. This phase involves verifying that the system performs within specified limits. For example, in a sterile chamber, we might do empty chamber mapping to ensure uniformity and proper function. Finally, performance qualification, or PQ, is where we confirm that the system consistently performs under real-world conditions over time. This ensures that our equipment maintains its performance during actual use. Connecting all these phases, we see how each step builds upon the previous one to provide confidence that our systems are safe, compliant, and effective throughout their life cycle. This comprehensive approach is fundamental to quality assurance in our industry. Now, let's look at the design qualification, or DQ, which is a crucial step in ensuring we select the right chamber for our needs. The main objective here is to make sure that the chamber we choose can support the required temperature and humidity ranges. For example, it should maintain temperature within plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius and humidity within plus or minus 5% relative humidity. It's also important that the chamber has suitable control, monitoring, and data logging systems in place. These features are essential for maintaining consistent conditions and for documenting performance over time. Additionally, alarm systems are vital. They alert us immediately if anything goes outside the set parameters, helping us prevent any potential issues. When we talk about deliverables from this phase, we need a user requirement specification, or URS. Think of this as our detailed blueprint of what we need from the chamber. We also require the vendor's technical data, so we understand exactly how the equipment operates and meets our specifications. Lastly, compliance certificates are necessary to verify that the chamber adheres to relevant standards and regulations. Overall, the DQ process connects directly to our goal of ensuring reliable, quality testing conditions. By thoroughly defining these requirements up front, we set a solid foundation for successful qualification and operation of the chamber. Now, let's talk about installation qualification, or IQ, which is a crucial step to ensure everything has been set up correctly at the site. The main purpose here is to confirm that the equipment has been installed properly and is ready for operation. When performing IQ, we use a checklist to verify several key items. First, we check the model and serial numbers to make sure we're working with the correct equipment. We also review the calibration certificates to confirm the device has been calibrated properly and is within its calibration period. Next, we verify utility connections, such as power supply and grounding, to ensure they're correct and meet safety standards. It's also important to confirm the software and firmware versions are up to date, which helps us avoid compatibility issues down the line. Additionally, we need to identify a suitable placement for the equipment. It should be positioned away from heat sources or vents, as these can affect its performance or longevity. All of these checks are documented thoroughly in the IQ protocol and checklist, and it's essential to gather signatures to verify that each step has been completed properly. By following these steps, we help ensure the equipment is installed correctly, which is fundamental for achieving reliable and accurate operation moving forward. All right, let's take a look at this acceptance criteria example. First, we have the temperature variation, which should be within plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius across all points in the chamber. This ensures consistent temperature control throughout the entire space. Similarly, the relative humidity variation should stay within plus or minus 5% RH, again across all points. This helps us verify that humidity levels are stable and uniform. Moving on to the operational qualification, or OQ, we're focusing on the empty chamber mapping. The main goal here is to demonstrate that the chamber operates reliably under empty conditions, that it maintains the set parameters consistently. The actions involved include mapping the temperature and humidity at multiple points, such as the corners, the center, the top, and the bottom, to get a comprehensive picture of the environment. We also need to validate that alarms are functioning correctly, that fail-safe mechanisms kick in when needed, and that the door open-close recovery processes work smoothly. Plus, ensuring that controllers respond as expected is crucial. Finally, we define specific set points, like 25 degrees C with 60% RH, or 40 degrees C with 75% RH to verify that the chamber can reach and maintain these conditions reliably. All of these steps are essential to confirm that the chamber operates as intended, providing a stable environment for sensitive processes or products. Now, let's talk about performance qualification, or PQ, specifically for the loaded chamber. The main purpose here is to confirm that the chamber can maintain the required conditions when it's actually loaded with product or simulated loads. This step is crucial because it ensures that under real working conditions, the chamber performs reliably and consistently. When we conduct the PQ actions, we start by placing either actual product or dummy samples that mimic the thermal mass of real items. This helps us replicate the true load conditions. Then, we perform mapping over a period of 24 to 72 hours, or as specified by the protocol. This duration allows us to thoroughly assess the chamber's performance across different conditions and times. During this process, we evaluate the uniformity of temperature and humidity throughout the chamber and check how well the alarm system responds under load conditions. This helps us identify any potential issues before actual production runs. Generally, the standard duration for PQ is at least 24 hours, but it can be extended for longer runs to ensure stability over time. Overall, this step helps us verify that the chamber can sustain the necessary conditions consistently, which is vital for product quality and regulatory compliance. It ties back to our overall goal of ensuring the integrity and reliability of our processes. Let's talk about the alarm and safety qualification process. The main goal here is to make sure that the chamber alarms will trigger properly whenever there's an excursion or an abnormal condition. This is crucial for maintaining safety and ensuring the system responds as expected. Typically, we perform a series of safety tests. These include checking if high or low temperature alarms activate when they should, and similarly for humidity levels. We also simulate a power failure to see how the system's UPS responds automatically, ensuring continuous operation during outages. Another important test is measuring how quickly the door open and close responses occur, which can impact both safety and environmental stability. The acceptance criteria for these tests are straightforward. Alarms must activate within the predefined tolerance limits, and we document all the logs thoroughly. This documentation is vital for verifying compliance and for future troubleshooting. Now, let's look at an example of PQ mapping results from a 24-hour data collection at a load condition of 30 degrees C and 65% relative humidity. The maximum temperature recorded was 31.9 degrees C, and the minimum was 28.1 degrees C. The temperature range here is 3.8 degrees C, which exceeds our acceptable limit of plus or minus 2 degrees C. This means we need requalification or adjustments to bring the chamber back within specifications. For instance, a corrective action could involve improving airflow distribution within the chamber or recalibrating the sensors to ensure more accurate readings and better environmental control. Overall, these steps help us verify that the chamber's safety mechanisms are functioning correctly and that environmental parameters stay within the required limits, supporting the reliability of our testing processes. Let's talk about our calibration and requalification strategy. First, regarding calibration frequency, we generally aim for it to be annual or semi-annual, especially for temperature and humidity sensors. Of course, if these sensors are used more frequently, we might need to calibrate them more often to ensure accuracy. Now, moving on to requalification triggers, these are the key events that would prompt us to recheck and validate our systems. Major servicing of the equipment is a clear trigger. If any significant maintenance is performed, it's important to requalify. Similarly, relocating the chamber is another trigger since moving equipment can affect its calibration. Sensor replacement is another obvious trigger. Whenever we swap out sensors, requalification ensures they're functioning correctly. Lastly, any significant excursions or deviations detected during operation should prompt us to reevaluate and requalify to maintain confidence in our data. Overall, these strategies help us keep our environmental monitoring reliable and accurate, which is essential for maintaining quality and compliance throughout our processes. Now, let's talk about the documentation we need to keep on hand. First, we have the IQ, OQ, and PQ protocols and reports. These are essential for demonstrating that equipment has been installed, qualified, and performs according to specifications. It's important to keep these reports well organized and accessible. Next, calibration certificates with traceability standards, like NIST, are crucial. They verify that our instruments are calibrated correctly and that the calibration is traceable to recognized standards. This ensures the accuracy of our measurements over time. We also need raw mapping logs and graphs. These documents show the detailed data collected during environmental mapping or validation activities, helping us verify conditions inside chambers or controlled environments. Then, there are SOPs for operating the stability chamber. These standard operating procedures provide clear instructions to ensure consistent, compliant operation of the equipment. Lastly, alarm and deviation logs are vital. They record any deviations or alarms that occur during operations, allowing us to track issues and ensure proper corrective actions are taken. Throughout all of this, record integrity is fundamental. We must maintain signed, version-controlled records to guarantee authenticity, traceability, and compliance. This means every document should be properly signed, dated, and updated only through controlled versions. In essence, thorough documentation and maintaining its integrity underpin the reliability and compliance of our processes, reinforcing the overall quality system we're committed to. Let's wrap up with a quick summary of the key points. First, stability chamber qualification is essential to ensure that we maintain consistent environmental control, which is not only a good practice but a requirement according to ICHQ 1A, R2, and GMP standards. Next, it's important to follow a structured approach, starting with design qualification, then installation qualification, operational qualification, and performance qualification. Each of these stages needs to be well documented, including clear acceptance criteria and proper mapping to ensure everything is thoroughly validated. Finally, ongoing maintenance is crucial. This means regularly calibrating sensors, verifying alarms, and keeping detailed records. These steps are vital, especially during regulatory inspections, to demonstrate that the stability chamber continues to operate within specified parameters. Overall, these practices help us ensure product quality, regulatory compliance, and reliable environmental control throughout the product lifecycle. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need moving forward. And with that, I want to sincerely thank you all for your time and attention today. Your engagement makes all the difference, and I hope you found this presentation valuable. Remember, we're just a message or call away if you need anything else. Thank you once again.